Hello everyone, my name is Cesar and I'm back with another video for Path of Exile. And this one is about my second build this league, which is a custom crit Eye of Winter Saboteur. So Sabo got reworked and I got two nice ascendancy nodes for custom crit. The first one gives you 30% cooldown recovery rate, which makes getting the 52% that we need for the breakpoint rather easy. We get it with the node, 30%, and 22% from Awakened Custom Crit at level 5. And the second Ascendancy node gives you Triggerbots. We basically get two Triggerbots that cast the spells that you trigger, so the spells trigger twice. And also have twice the mana cost, so we have to focus on mana sustain as well. They are minions, so they sometimes fall behind a little bit, but it's not really a problem because Eye of Winter and Frostbolt have very good coverage and are amazing for clearing. So yeah, I focus on making this build a good mapper, and I have to say that the playstyle is just great. Just hold down your Cyclone, occasionally press Ice Vortex, and basically watch everything die. Also, it's important to get decent defenses, so we can take a few hits, and we don't really get one-shotted. Because Cyclone is a melee skill after all. So we need to get some defenses, so we don't die every map, basically. So this is the build in-game. The PoE is in the description of the video. And in the notes section, there is extra information for cooldown recovery rate and the breakpoint, things that you need to achieve, map mods, pantheons, and all that stuff. So, talking about the gear, your first purchase should probably be your body armor. You get your 6 link, and this one is quite nice. We get attack crit, so we have more crit on our Cyclone since it's an attack. Frenzy charge on hit, and additional curse. Those are the three most important stats. You of course want to get life and whatever else that you can get. Resistances. If you can get suppression on the body armor, that will be very good. But probably very expensive as well. Then the helmet is another big upgrade. You want a Blizzard Ground for the cold damage and the cold resistance line. Double influence with power charge, and nearby enemies have reduced cold resistance. Other stats, elemental damage, which is super nice. You can also get crit multi on this, but it might be quite expensive. Resistances, you can even get suppression as well. Life, of course. They are not super expensive, neither the hat or the body armor. The body armor was, I think, 3 divines, and the hat as well, 3 divines. Probably cheap because it doesn't have an enchant as well. With enchant is probably more like double the price. Then, the body armor has additional curse because you want to get curse on hit on both your rings. Elemental weakness on one, frostbite on the other one. That is the most important stat. But you need to get life, and then whatever else you can get, resistances, accuracy, stats in intelligence, dexterity, or strength. And you want to have an open prefix where you can craft, because it's super important that you craft the reduced mana cost, because mana is a bit of a problem in this build, since we have the Triggerbots and they are basically triggering, or your skills trigger twice, you have twice the mana cost. So yeah, it's important to get the reduced mana cost craft on the rings and on the amulet. So on the amulet, the anoint, the +1 power charge, and the one from the left. So it's this one. It's not very expensive, just a silver oil, black and red. And then try to get life, crit multi, +1 if possible, stats, whichever stats you need. Maybe resistances, accuracy would be very good on the amulet. For our shield, you want to get tier 1 suppression. It's kind of important because it's a big amount of suppression with good life, good evasion if you can, suffixes, yeah, anything nice, attack speed, resistances, with a good possible skill, good passive skill tree, if possible. I just have increased armor and evasion, which is not bad, but you can probably get a much better one. Then boots, I went for a very simple pair of boots with movement speed, suppression, and resistances, and life. A nice enchant could be very useful on the boots as well, and not very difficult to get. The gloves are a bit more specific. You want attack speed, accuracy, chaos resistance, or suppression. 3 out of those for suffixes. And then life for the prefix. If you have life here and you can have an open prefix, you can have something nice, maybe +1 level of AoE and put your auras in here. I went with increased damage during effect, or during any flask effect. The implicits are also important. Suppression. If you have enough suppression, maybe you can get cold damage, leech as life. And then unnerve. Lastly, for the weapon, CoC Malice, just try to get a good passive skill tree. I have a decent one with increased damage, increased cost of skills, which is not ideal, but thankfully I can sustain. The mana cost for now. Accuracy is super nice. And I have mana leech, attack damage, leech as mana, which is nice. The best skill tree for a CoC would be with reduced attribute requirements. You can get either 20 or 30%. That would make gearing much easier. Because the intelligence and the dexterity requirement would be much, much lower. That is for the gear. In the passive tree, we are running double cluster setup, large cluster with cold damage. Blanketed snow is the most important node. Blast freeze is nice, so your freezes spread. And the medium clusters with crit, pressure points for the double damage, quick getaway for the attack speed and the movement speed, which is nice. We have some rare jewels. Try to get life, crit multi, and whatever else that you can get. The Watcher's Eye is important. Hatred crit is probably the more expensive item in the build. Then we are running a Forbidden Flame and Flesh combo, Unstable Infusion, which is actually rather cheap. I paid 1 divine for each, so both 2 divines. So we get an extra power charge and power charge on crit, which is super nice. That means that we don't have to run power charge on crit support in our CoC setup. So I can run GMP in my case, for example. But anyway, the budget is around 22 to 25 divines, but you don't need to invest that much to have a decent build that can do tier 16 maps. I just kept investing to see how far I can push the build, and also to share a nice build with you guys. So that's it for this video. I hope you have a good one. Thank you very much for watching and take care. Bye bye.
Just need a moment to catch my breath.